All right, here we are, election night. We are streaming live, believe it or not. We don't really do this very often, but we are actually streaming live. So tonight is election night, the night we've been waiting for. So hey, let's do this. All right. So we're kind of there's not a whole lot of action right now. It's only like 5:30 in the PM. We're in Nevada. The polls are still open here until 7 p.m.
Yes.
And from what I understand, if you get in line, if you're in line by 7, then you have to they have to let you vote. So right. I mean, they could hold off on reporting obviously until much later, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever. So one thing is for sure, I've been saying this for a long time. I don't believe this is going to be final and decided and everything tonight, but we're going to get a pretty good picture. So I mean, we're going to do a little of our own commentary, and then we're going to go back and forth with some of our favorite other political pundits and their live streams. And hey, we're just going to enjoy the party. By the way, this is not an official endorsement, but for me at least, tonight's stream is brought to you by Sip Elixirs. I'm going to need all the help I can to get me through tonight. So I got myself a little. This is a sativa. So
yes,
I will.
I get those at my local dispensary legally.
Yes.
Legally, it's legal in Nevada.
Legally,
we're not suggesting you do anything illegal.
Absolutely, legally on sale. I even get coupons and points. I mean, whoever thought that we would be able to buy cannabis legally? I even get it delivered now.
Really?
You couldn't do that back in the day. I mean, you couldn't. Your dealer wouldn't deliver to you and give you coupons and points, right? That didn't happen.
They would deliver, but they wouldn't bring coupons.
No, you couldn't get like the daily election day deals,
No.
So before we get started,
see, sativa for me, if I'm being honest, I like it, but it would keep me awake. Like really? I wouldn't be able to go to sleep in 4 or 5 hours.
Even edibles are more of a hybrid component anyway. So hey, cheers, and let's hope this goes the way we want it to. I'm gonna need all the help I can get. Oh, love it. Fantastic. Shalom.
Shalom. I'm going to smoke later. I'm going to smoke later tonight after we're done with our live, and I'm watching the pros, at like 9 o'clock.
The pros? We are the pros. What are you talking about?
I guess I mean the people that get paid to do this. In terms of professional, get someone pays you to do it. Yes. But what I'm hearing from the Charlie Kirk folks and Dan Bongino and the people that we like to follow, the sort of again, what we kind of started the day with, and we talked offline for a little bit. Republicans voting early, great move. Because Republicans traditionally show up day of and don't vote early, but because of Trump's sort of endorsement of this time around, vote early, log your vote, get it in there. People did that nationally, especially in the swing states. So we have a jump on the Democrats in places where normally we'd already be behind. They're playing catch up, and then normally normally we don't vote early, we vote day of, and it's flip flop for them. Normally they vote early, and day of it's kind of but because we have the early jump on them, and we vote day of, lots of guys are coming out day of, and it looks pretty good. It looks like Trump can do it. There's a lot of big cities, a lot of big districts that have not reported yet, so we don't know for sure.
Absolutely, and this is just, again, I mean, at the time we're doing this live, it's not even 5:30 in the PM. We're 5:28 in the PM. So all the West Coast states still have to, they're still voting. The polls are still open. This is all very, very early. And look, if any previous elections are any indication, I mean, this could be days, weeks. Hopefully it's not weeks and months.
It looks like when I was watching Charlie Kirk's stream before we hopped on ours, and Georgia was already reporting about 25% in.
Yeah.
In North Carolina, we'll start reporting pretty soon too. I mean,
yeah. Some of those states on the East Coast and like some of those kind of Midwestern states, they'll start reporting clearly before we do.
So and those are two swing states that Trump needs to pick up. I mean, from our understanding, if he picks up Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, he's the president.
Yeah. So all eyes are on those swing states, and especially Pennsylvania. We were kind of joking about this over the weekend, but hey, the Amish are coming out.
I saw it. I saw them in their buggies with their Trump signs, going 8 miles an hour down the highway on their buggies. But listen, 8 miles to them is like 50 to us. So good. God bless them. Bless their hearts.
Absolutely. And the other cool thing is that, they get up really early. So they were casting their vote, before it got dark. They got to get back home and raise another couple of barns. So, I mean, they got a busy day. Hezekiah, Ezekiel, all of those guys got to get up and, get their day started.
I think they also sleep like bats. They sleep hanging upside down. I think that's why they get up so early. The blood rushes to their head. And like by 4 a.m, it's enough already. It's
goes straight to the hat. So, here we are. They could very well save the state of Pennsylvania, and here we are mocking and shitting on them.
Well, we'll take it. We'll take it. I guess if to boil it from what I'm hearing in real time, to boil it all down, the challenge tonight is Kamala's lead with young women. And is Kamala's advantage with women big enough to beat Trump nationally with his 10 years of experience doing this? He's already been the president, and with a lot of men voting this time around. A lot of people, like my buddy who we talked about, who will remain nameless for privacy purposes, just voted. His first name is Ryan. Ryan just voted for the first time in his adult life. He's in his 40s, and he did it. I know, and that story is being repeated all over the country. A lot of first-time voters are like, I had to do it. I had to vote.
A lot of first-time voters and a lot of long-time Democrats that have switched over, and independents. So that's the other thing. Like when they're looking at these kind of early reporting and they're saying, oh, a certain percentage of Democrats, certain percentage of Republicans. What's hard to call is where the independents landed. Some of them, lean more one way or the other. So that obviously remains to be seen. But
100%. And also there are some Democrats that won't vote for Kamala because she was attached to Biden, who was attached to Obama. So there are Democrats who are sitting it out. Like, I can't vote for Trump, but I can't vote for Kamala. That exists. It's not a myth. That's a real thing. Will it affect the election nationally? I don't know. But there are certainly people who are Democrats who are going to sit on their hands. I had some friends last cycle who were never Trumpers. Couldn't vote for Biden, but couldn't vote for Trump. Just sat it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's definitely going to be some of those as well. So let's use the power of the internet to see where we're at with. We'll start with one of our favorites, Mr. Charlie Kirk and the Turning Point USA. We'll check a look at their.
By the way, what an amazing job he's done with young voters. I mean, his college ministry, if you want to call it that. He's a very Christian guy. Incredible what he's done. And really to go. I talk about going into the trenches. I mean, he's talking to people who are very young, haven't really lived much of life yet, who are on their parents, their parents are paying for their school, and he insults them about college being a scam, and he goes after their beliefs, and he rattles a lot of cages, but he makes a lot of people, he sets them on the right course early, which I think is fantastic.
1000%. All right, let's check this out. Here goes nothing. Let's share this tab, and let's take a look at where we're at right now. All right. Can we see everybody? Can you see it? Beautiful. All right. It is a lot of red. Let's see what they're having to say about this. Can you
check this out? Last time
Ohio was red.
Pinellas County was 2004. Got a county that we haven't won since 2004. That would be Baldwin County, Georgia. If this materializes, which it seems like it's going to, it would be the first time the GOP has won this county since 2004. The county is 41% African American. So let me repeat that. There's a flip alert. Baldwin County, Georgia. It'd be the first time a GOP has won it since 2004.
All right, I want to remind you guys, if you guys want a signed hat, go to members.charliekirk.com. I will sign a hat for you. Daisy will send me the names. I will read them on air. Members.charliekirk.com. That is members.charliekirk.com. We have all these hats. That's why these hats are sitting out here. Members.charliekirk.com. The New York Times gives Donald Trump a 71% chance of winning Georgia. And North Carolina is also very good. Again, we don't want to celebrate too preemptively, but very, very good chance winning North Carolina. It's all on Pennsylvania, man. It's like Pennsylvania or Wisconsin or Michigan.
Charlie, I got, by the way, on the hats, I get a message. May
I speak? Jeff?
Cousin says, hey, Jeff.
Everything is, we back? Me? Yeah.
Yeah. So my question, I mean, he's already given Florida and Michigan, Florida and Ohio to Trump. That's a big deal.
Can you hear me? Can you see me? Great.
I can hear you.
So as predicted, everything is.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What's that? Say again.
I said on that
map. Go ahead. I missed what you had.
On that map that we just saw, they've already given Florida and Ohio to Trump. Those are two big wins.
Absolutely.
I mean, he had to win. You know, in other words, we talked about this again in some previous podcasts, but like the fact that Trump has made Florida not a swing state is a big deal. The fact that Trump has made Ohio not a swing state in the Rust Belt, big deal.
Yeah, 1,000%. So, I mean, so again, this is kind of shaping up, at least so far. I mean, again, we're still very, very, very early in the proceedings, but this is shaping up to be kind of matching, oddly enough, some of the polls that we've been seeing recently from early voting. So again, it does really come down to Pennsylvania. So come on, Ezekiel. Come on, Hezekiah, please.
Yeah. I mean, I love what they're saying about Georgia, and Georgia's reporting probably more than 25% at this point. I'd love to know what that number is, but I mean, I'd love to know where Georgia's at, at this point, because the East Coast, their polls have closed there. It was North Carolina. I think North Carolina hadn't reported yet.
North Carolina and Iowa had not reported yet, at least according to whatever map that Charlie and his crew are looking at. So, and again, it's still kind of too early.
Yeah, it's very early, but I think we can all agree, and the pundits have agreed, that one Iowa poll by that one person that came out that said Trump was going to lose Iowa, everyone, including Democrats, have dismissed that. Like, Trump is going to win Iowa. He might not win that city that they were talking about, or a few counties in that city, but he's going to win Iowa. Iowa's been red for 50 years. So
I just can't see that happening. I mean, look, like you said, the biggest thing that could possibly happen is if we can snag Pennsylvania. That would be great. You're originally from. Now I know you haven't lived there in several decades, but you're
a long time. But I'm from Pennsylvania.
Tell us about. I mean, obviously you don't know what the recent climate is over there, but I mean, what is it traditionally been like?
Joe Biden's been able to run on him coming from Scranton for 70 years, and he hasn't set foot in Pennsylvania for 70 years. I'll tell you what Pennsylvania is, and I'm going to quote James Carville from back in the 90s, and he was exactly right. He's like, Pennsylvania is, Philadelphia and Erie, and then like Texas in the middle. It's like cosmopolitan areas with a bunch of country, red. And so it's real blue, and real red, the rest of the state. Kind of like a lot of these states, you know what I mean? But Philadelphia is a huge city, many, many millions of people. So that makes up a big part of the state's, you know what I mean, in terms of their electoral votes. A lot of it's
Philly, Pittsburgh. Yeah, and Pittsburgh, I would imagine probably.
Pittsburgh and Philly are the two really big centers. My town, Erie, is much smaller compared to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh and Philly are really like the two anchors of blue, and then everything else is Texas and Arkansas and Louisiana, just red.
Yeah.
Is red.
Yeah. Well, it's very similar. Yeah, it's very similar. A lot of people, you talk about how blue California is and it always leans blue, but I mean, I grew up in Central California, like Kern County area. It's very red, very conservative. Now, obviously, there's a lot of there's a lot of everybody everywhere, right? But
yeah,
same kind of a situation. California is huge, where L.A. in the south and San Francisco in the north kind of controlled and dictated the entire state. And then you had people in Bakersfield and Fresno and everybody kind of in the center in Central California, like going, well, feeling completely underrepresented. And so do I think that there's going to be enough of that to turn California? Not at all, by any means, especially considering that Kamala has been and was the DA there, Attorney General, whatever you want to call her over there. But so she's got ties obviously to California, and that state, because the population is so heavily leaning towards Democrat in those major cities, it's never going to flip. But there's a lot of votes. There's a lot more than most people think. And even today, on some of the early posts that I saw on X and some of these other social media sites, people are actually taking pictures. Very large turnouts in LA.
Incredibly large turn. Yeah, I agree. There's lots of red in blue California. It's just like Tucker Carlson has said. He's from California. He hasn't lived there in a long time, but he's born and raised there. And he's like, listen, Democrats have that state on lockdown. It's embedded in the blood of the. I mean, it'll always be controlled by Democrats. The Republicans make some inroads here and there, but flipping that state would take a magnitude of some kind of, I don't even know if it's even possible. So that's why Gavin Newsom can kind of float to the top and be the governor there. But as we mentioned before in a different podcast episode, it's telling that I mean, Gavin Newsom's not stumping for Kamala. I mean, he's a pretty big voice in the Democratic Party. People know who he is. In every state, no matter what your affiliation is, people know the name Gavin Newsom, and he's not. I think he probably endorsed her, but he hasn't been actively campaigning on her behalf.
Yeah. We're in kind of a similar spot here in Nevada. We haven't seen much of our governor, Joe Lombardo, even though Lombardo, a Republican governor who beat out our last Democrat governor, Steve Sisolak, in the last election in 22, and who, was largely endorsed by Trump. And Lombardo has kind of been MIA. He did appear. He finally made an appearance when Trump was here, when they did that thing at the Thomas and Mack a few weeks ago. Other than that, he's kind of been, missing in action. Yeah, he made one post today about it. Go out and vote.
What I've heard from some insiders here in Nevada about Joe Lombardo is because the Senate and the Congress in Nevada are controlled by Democrats, he's walking this fine line. He wants to get things done, but he's in a situation where if, for example, I hope this does not happen, but if Kamala were to win and the Republicans were to take the Senate and hang on to the House, that's kind of the position that Joe Lombardo was in Nevada. He's a Republican governor with Democrat-controlled Senate and House. So if he wants to get anything done, he's got to walk this weird tightrope line politically 24/7. I'm not defending it at all. He should have been more outspoken for Trump, 100%, not defending it. I understand it, I guess, but I wish he would have at least been a little bit more vocal and used the power of his office to make Trump, just to pump it out, the fact that, look, Nevada, 6 electoral votes doesn't sound huge. We are a swing state. We have to turn Nevada red. I wish he would have said that once a week.
And it all adds up. And that's the thing. Like, I mean, he may be doing what's kind of politically expedient for himself, and I guess in turn the state, I guess. But if everything's deadlocked and nothing gets done, then it doesn't really matter. He's already been in for 2 years, and he might have one. Let's say Trump gets in, then maybe he'll have 1 year, and of course, depending on how our state flips and where that goes with our other elections down ballot. But I mean, he only really has basically a year to govern, because he's going to have to spend his final year campaigning and trying to win his second term. So it's like the first term has just kind of been meh. You know, it's kind of been a wash. I mean, I just flat out called him a useless rhino.
Well, that's just it. I mean, because the problem is, what's he running on? What he can't run on loyalty to Trump. He can't run on being a true Republican. He has to run on this middle ground, shaking hands with the Democrats a whole lot to get things done, which doesn't really sit well with most hardcore conservatives these days. I mean, unfortunately, walking across the aisle and getting things done just doesn't happen that much these days in DC. At the state level, it's a different animal, right? But in DC, that's not how things work anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah. Let's check in with our old pal Charlie and see. Yeah. Let's see what they're saying. I mean, look, if they're talking numbers, cool. If they're hawking hats, then we'll put them on mute again. Here we go. Come on, Charlie. Here we go.
Election results are continuing. Go to members.charliekirk.com. And also, if you guys want to try to get a free hat, you also can get a free hat.
He's still hawking.
You want to try Bongino?
Hats, so.
Want to check out Bongino or one of the others? Jeff?
Absolutely. Let's see how our old pal Bongino over there. We might get a little lag with our tech here, but just stay with us. We got all the good streams happening on Rumble, by the way. Beautiful. All right, let's see where they're at. Come on. Are they even? Yeah, what are they doing? Here we go.
I'm not getting any audio. Are you? I can't hear anything.
There we go.
No audio. I'm sorry.
Groundbreaking outside of the fact that he acted as a conservative. His real gift is going to be he penetrated this sick Republican culture where we just had forfeited the Hispanic and black vote. We said we didn't, but we did. They'd be like, we're going to urban centers. They were full of shit. I ran in Maryland. I would go in Lexington Market in Baltimore. I know you know the area. There were people like, you're a Republican? Like they looked at you like you were a fucking space alien. Like they'd never seen a Republican in their lives. We always bullshitted people. Donald Trump, I don't know what it is, man, but he broke through this. And I swear to you, his lasting gift is going to be opening the eyes of minority voters who are now like, damn, these guys were with me the whole time, these Republicans.
Dan, you say you don't know what it is, but I'll tell you what it is. He's a businessman and he loves the American people, and he always has. I've been reading The Art of the Deal, and Donald Trump, since, his inception, truly has cared about helping his fellow man, and I feel like that is translated into his campaign. He's not a politician. He's a regular, I don't know if he's a regular American citizen, but he's somebody that's relatable. He's somebody who can get up on stage.
Like
yeah, exactly. He acts like a normal person. He's not like Kamala Harris.
Isn't that weird though? He's a billionaire and he's the most relatable guy in the race.
And you know why, Dan? Because I was thinking about this, and it's because.
And I'm just going to, kind of pause it there for a second. But yeah, I mean, again, all you're going to get from most of these live streams right now is just our opinions and conjecture and all of that. I mean, the news organizations, the outlets that like Fox and all the mainstream media, they're of course going to be reporting the results first. But again, I think, look, if you analyze the election, just kind of now that we've reached the night, right? If you analyze just the election. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. They just showed that this Scott in Florida, the Republican running for Senate, is 15 points beating his Democrat partner. And as we know, if the Republicans win 2 seats, we take back the Senate. That's a big deal. I wish that on our podcast, on everyone's podcast, we were so kind of obsessed with making Trump the focus of our attention, which is great. We need to do that.
Sure.
But it's a really, really big deal if the Republicans take back the Senate and hang on to the House. Whoever, I mean, that's a big deal.
Yes.
Because if Trump wins,
yes.
he's got a united government. That would be make
yes.
America great again par excellence, right? All three chambers for
yes.
2 years for sure. That would be incredible. Just wanted to mention that. I'm sorry.
That absolutely. And it's funny, you know, because we're the ones who always like to say all politics is local. And this is exactly right. If Trump can win, then Vance, you know, just by default becomes that tiebreaker in the Senate. And then we only just need to flip one seat. If you know, and if Trump doesn't win, that would really suck, but we could still flip, you know, a couple of seats in the Senate, and Kamala is then, you know, handcuffed with hopefully a majority where she's got to fight a Republican majority in the House and the Senate. But as we know, most of the Congress is rhinos anyway. So you know, that.
Well, we know that, but it would still be significant for Republicans to control 2 chambers of the government and Democrats 1. That would be a victory in a lot of ways. If Kamala were to take it, that would still be a big victory. They'd no longer be the party in power. They'd be they'd have the executive office and nothing else. And a conservative Supreme Court, Republican Senate, Republican House. That would be pretty cool. If we have those things and Trump as the president, that'd be an amazing thing.
Yeah, absolutely, 1000%. So I mean, that's the kind of red wave I'm looking at. No red wave talk, like Dan says, no red wave talk. But that's the kind of red wave that I would love to see. So look, counties and states and everything are. Go ahead.
It would give Trump the ability to right the ship quickly.
Yes. Yeah. That's a perfect way to put that. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and by the way, anybody's watching, if there's a little bit of a lag, there's, you know, I'll talk and he take a second here. So we're not, you know, getting frustrated, we're streaming from 1, we're streaming from 2, and it's a lot of streaming. It's a lot of bandwidth. And I guarantee you, I'm upstairs, the wife is downstairs with another stream going on, and then my daughter's in the other room with another stream going on. You're okay because you're by yourself, right? I'm assuming you're at home alone, right?
I'm home alone,
and you're the only one streaming.
My assistant left. She was with me all day, but she's gone now, and I'm here with Gigablast Wi-Fi, ready to rock, man.
Beautiful.
Should we hop on to Fox News and see what they're? Should we hop on to Fox News and see what they're reporting?
Yeah. Let me see.
They said 13 states now have
the Rumble stream for.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, the Rumble stream, I'm gonna stop the share, and I'll look this up, and we'll kind of regain some of our bandwidth, and I'll look up the Fox stream elsewhere, only because the Fox stream through Rumble sometimes can be a little, wonky sometimes. So I'm gonna stream the Fox stream through YouTube. So stand by. We're just eating up a ton of bandwidth, but yeah. As far as you know, like, what is your, what are you thinking? I mean, just from whatever it is that you're seeing and we're looking at. I mean,
do you give any credence to this Kalshi betting thing that everyone's paying attention to?
Well, first of all, just to put it out there for anybody who may be watching, I've never been a big fan of credence. So that's the first thing.
I'm old enough to get that. I'm old enough to get that joke.
Yeah. So we totally just showed our age right there.
Yes. We're old men.
So, not a big credence fan.
Got it.
So I don't give credence to anybody. All right. Nobody gets credence from me. There you
understand.
Go. No, look there. It's just like that other guy, the Alan Lichtman guy. You know what I mean? Look, there's going to be prognosticators. There's going to be people, trying to call it, and
sure.
They all say that they're unbiased, but it on some level it comes from there. I can't help but think that your preferences come into play. Look, nobody hates the biased media more than I do. I truly think that the fourth estate should be as unbiased as popular. But if we're being honest, everybody who's going to broadcast about something like politics is going to have a little bit of an inherent bias
Yes,
in it to their reporting, much like we do. But we don't make that's one of the nice things about independent media. Well, one of the good things and the bad things about independent media is that you can be pretty blatantly partisan. The unfortunate problem is that most people tend to get lost in their own echo chamber and don't necessarily get a chance to hear both sides.
Let me ask you about this. What do you think of Joe Rogan's endorsement yesterday? I mean, Rogan's audience is largely male. It's pretty much exactly the audience that Trump needs to counterbalance Kamala's connection with women. So
sure,
he couldn't have waited till more of the last minute, but he gave us 24 hours. And that plus Elon, plus RFK, plus Tulsi, plus Vivek. I mean, it's really a unity party. And I think that might put us over the edge right there with men. And that's a good thing because guys typically vote, right? I think this cycle, they're much more, they realize, got them Joe Biden, got them endless wars, got them double digit inflation, got them open borders, got them gas bills and food bills they can't pay, got them their credit cards maxed out. So I think men are more motivated to vote than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, could he have made the endorsement sooner? Absolutely, because that could have really had an impact on the early voting. But at the same time, like you just said, Trump's already he's assembling his Avengers. And if that wasn't enough, if you needed Joe Rogan, like really, I like Joe Rogan. I enjoy his podcast. I subscribe to his podcast. I loved his interview with Trump and Vance and everybody. I've enjoyed it. I even enjoyed his the few minutes of his interview with Fetterman that I watched. So whatever. I think that Rogan's a great podcaster and he's a great indication of he's certainly helping to kill the mainstream media. But I didn't need Joe Rogan to with all due respect. Neither did you.
Well, what we are seeing today, at least what I'm hearing reporting from other outlets, is that independents are playing a bigger role than people kind of anticipated. And a lot of those independents are heading in Trump's direction. And I think that those folks listen to Rogan. I think that's a Rogan demographic.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. So I'm inclined to agree with that. But again, look, I still maintain that no matter what the count ends up being tonight, unless it is a clear Reagan style landslide, undeniable, unquestionable, popular and electoral victory, they're going to drag this out they're going to take it all the way up to the Supreme Court if they have to. This could potentially go on for weeks, if not months. Hopefully it doesn't. I mean, look, there are several states, even right now, who for the last several weeks have been saying, we're not going to know the results on the night of, just so you know. Pennsylvania, I think Virginia was one, Nevada's one. Nevada, we have until the 12th. To cure the ballots and to go through any of the runoffs or anything like that. So they've got all kind of time to cheat. So that's the thing. There's been this meme going around saying that Trump isn't necessarily, look, he beat Kamala. That's not who he has to worry about. He has to worry about the system. It's up to him versus the system.
Right.
Kamala's going to be the easy one to beat. It's the cheat that's harder.
Ooh, there's a meme right there. You just created the best meme in the world.
I mean, it's not what I normally do, but I'll take it. And listen, whoever that person is who's still hanging on, paying attention to our stream, I don't know who you are, where you are. Thank you. God bless. We appreciate it. Tell 10,000 of your closest friends to subscribe, to like, follow, and subscribe at patriotsonlyplease.com or patriotsonlyplease. Go ahead, please.
Does it make sense to say vote? Is voting pretty much done? I mean, voting is almost over, right? We're near the end of voting.
Well, here's the thing. It's 5:58 in the PM at this very moment. So it's basically 6 o'clock. If you haven't voted, if you haven't left your house or your place of work to go cast your vote, now would be a good time. So
I would do it now.
I would do it now. I'd leave. I'd get in the car. You still have a second, maybe, because look, as long as you're in line, that's what they say. And that's the updates I'm getting actually from the party as well. They're sending out regular messages and regular emails saying, look, stay online. If you get there at 7, they can't kick you out. It's your right to vote. So
sure. And since you're getting those messages from the party, do we know anything about Nevada so far? Do we know how the numbers are looking?
Let me just check here. I haven't gotten anything lately, but
by the way, Jeff and
I
are in
haven't.
Southern Nevada, if you're wondering.
Yes. So let's see. Oh, fantastic. Let me just take a look here.
Thank you, sir.
So as of right now, it just says Nevada, if you are, and this is actually coming from the Trump campaign, from Swamp the Vote. If you're in line by the time polls close, please stay in line and cast your vote for Trump. Find your polling place here. So that literally just came in 4 minutes ago from the Trump campaign.
Right.
So you're getting up to the 4-minute coverage with us. So just so you know. Well, look, we're not up to the minute, but we're up to the 5 minute. That's
so
what we do.
Here's the thing. I mean, Michigan is technically, I guess, a Midwestern state, but time zone wise, are they the same time zone as like North Carolina and Georgia?
Let's see. Let me just, if only there were some sort of magical device that we could look things up at. What did you say? Time zone in Michigan, correct?
Michigan, yeah. I mean, I'm just curious.
All right. Time zone in Michigan. They're an Eastern Standard Time zone, so they are 3 hours from us. So it's 9.
So they should have some reporting going on there.
Yes. Yeah.
Because on the Charlie Kirk thing that we watched a few minutes ago, it wasn't any color to Michigan.
Yeah. So according to the Detroit Free Press, polls closed in most of Michigan, where to find results as of 48 minutes ago. So let's see. Well, let's go back. Let's check out the Fox stream. I'll get us connected there. And let's see what we're looking at. And again, we're going to be getting into bandwidth territory here. So just give me, we've got a couple minutes here. So we got to deal with bandwidth issues, but hey, listen, we're not Charlie Kirk. We're not the Ben Shapiro show. Oh, he's another one I want to check into. But
we should check out Ben Shapiro. I'd love to see what he's saying.
Yeah, and now the last election update we got from the chairman of the Clark County Republican Party, 2 hours, and this was at 5:10 p.m. So 2 hours left to get to the polls. Get in line, stay in line. So there's 1 hour left now. Statewide totals as of 2 p.m. The last time they sent anything out was, the results at 2 p.m. So that wouldn't necessarily be.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
It's not. Yeah, it's the eternity on election night. So let's see where we're still running through some ads here on. All right, here we go. Let's stream the. Let's check out the Fox stream.
Yeah, let me see what Fox has to say.
Here we go. Come on.
All right.
Here we go.
We can do this.
Let's check this out. All right. Share screen. I know. Beautiful. Are you seeing that?
That's great.
Fantastic.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
That's very good.
Yeah. As of right now.
That's good. But all the
this is the Fox. This is the electoral map right now. This isn't their. This is the stream of their electoral map, and not necessarily their
election
news coverage.
returns.
I can find that if you'd like, but this is the map. Yeah. So this is the current up to the minute Fox News their map. So we're at 178, 113 now. Generally, if correct me if I'm wrong, but generally the Midwestern states, because obviously we up here on the West Coast, we're the last to know anything, right? And generally the left will pick up their East Coast states, New York, Massachusetts, those states, obviously earlier in the night. So am I right in saying that usually it tends to look a little better for the Republican candidate earlier on in the night, and then the Democrats tend to pick up steam later on because of California and a lot of those West Coast states that tend to lean.
California takes a while to report too. It's a huge state. They normally don't report night of. I don't think. I could be wrong. I think they might report tomorrow, but that's a big ass. I mean, it's a very large state, so I don't know how that works. They might have counties reporting, but not the state itself. I think by tonight. But Trump's not going to win California, so.
No, exactly. So what they'll likely do is they'll probably call once a certain number of counties report in any given state, like say California, for example, they'll probably call that, and say, hey, look, it's California. This Trump wins California. The media will call the state of California for Trump. Where it gets hairy is states like Nevada, Arizona. They'll be able to pretty much call California, Washington, Oregon, Colorado. They'll be able to call those states relatively.
I think Trump was up in Arizona as of yesterday. I think he was up by 4 points in Arizona, like beyond the margin of error, I believe.
That would be a wonderful thing, as would Carrie Lake taking the Senate.
Yes.
If she takes that Senate seat, we just need one more.
And in Wisconsin's more of a toss-up than people.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, and Wisconsin's more of a toss-up than people are talking about. I mean, I think Biden won Wisconsin last time around by 60,000 votes or something. So, he's absolutely. Would it make sense to pop into Fox's and just see what they're saying, like what they're actually reporting about?
Yeah, I was. I just stopped the map stream. Let's see if we can get Fox News congressional balance of power. Oh, the congressional balance right now, we're at 46 Democrats in the House to 74. Wait, hold on. New majority 51 in the Senate, 46 Republicans. I mean, I can call that one up as well. That's another map. Let's take a look here. Fox News. Okay. And again, it may take a second. It's going to take a second to get these streams set up because they got to go through their. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hey, you can get me instead of a ring light. Gigablast. You can get me Gigablast instead. I'll take that.
You know what? They now have 2T Gigablast, which is like lightning speed. Yeah. It's a good investment, man. You work from home like I do. It's a good investment, buddy. And it's a write-off.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I don't necessarily have problems with with my workload, because my wife and I are both on streams and Zoom calls and stuff all day. But I mean, just for some reason when we're doing this, it gets a little crazy. But don't worry, we'll be up and ready and running here. We are right now.
What's your gut telling you, Jeff? What's your gut saying?
Hold on. I'll give you that answer in a second.
Electoral college votes, and it will be a decisive one, potentially. The Fox News decision desk says it's too early to call.
Also too early to call Ohio, but former President Trump has a lead in our Fox News voter analysis. As we mentioned, we're also watching the Senate race there. Bernie Moreno is the GOP candidate running against Sherrod Brown. And we can say that Fox News does project that Trump will win West Virginia. Not a very big surprise there. Obviously, the former governor or the current governor is running for the Senate as well. So
we expect that to be a quick call as well. If you look at the race for 270, the Electoral College votes needed to win the presidency now ticking up with that last call, the former president at 23 and Vice President Harris at 3 throughout the night. That will go up as we make calls. The biggest story in West Virginia, as we said, is the Senate race, where longtime Senator Joe Manchin is retiring, Democrat, now independent. Fox News can project that Jim Justice will flip this seat to the Republicans.
We've done it.
That win puts the GOP 1 seat away from an outright majority in the U.S. Senate, assuming they don't lose any seats along the way that they already hold.
Yes, exactly. So the Fox News decision desk says to call another Republican target, Ohio, where the incumbent Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown, as I mentioned, fighting for his 4th term against Republican businessman Bernie Moreno. And we're watching that one very closely as well. That could potentially be another flip. It's a toss-up race at the moment. The balance of power looks like this in terms of fed in so far into the data at this point. You've got 40 Republicans, 1 seat flipped. That's the West Virginia seat. Jim Justice will be the new senator. He was the former governor from the state of West Virginia, and Democrats have 29 right now. You can see a lot of spaces still to be filled in over on the Senate side.
And if you remember, Jeff, we saw in Florida that Scott, the Republican Scott, was beating the incumbent Democrat by 15 points. There's our second. There's our second Republican win.
Yeah. So just called the governor of West Virginia. Okay. So West Virginia still stays red. Looks like North Carolina. I think they just called that one the gubernatorial race. Oh, I guess YouTube is done showing me what's going on for right now. Okay. All right. Well, then we'll stop sharing. So there we are at the moment. So as you know, this is going to go on all night. So we've been streaming for a little over 46 minutes. I mean, I'm sure there will be much to talk about. Again, this is our take on it. I'm happy to stay on, a little while longer as you want. I'm thinking the electoral map is obviously it's gonna be what it's gonna be. So you asked me what my gut feeling is. I maintain that this will be it'll be a close race in the media. It'll be too early to call. I think the final results will have an indication of how it's hopefully will go by the end of tonight, maybe tomorrow afternoon, certainly. But I don't think anybody's going to concede right away, especially if it's too close. So
sure,
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Me too. I'm in the same position, but I just think that everything that we've been talking about in the podcast leading up to this, African American men voting for Trump, Latinos voting for Trump, just more men in general voting for Trump, I think it's going to have a big impact on the overall results. I really do.
Absolutely. It's certainly. Yeah, absolutely. So, okay. The latest email update from the Nevada Republican Party. This is it. There's only 1 hour left to vote in this critical election. If you haven't made it to the polls yet, now is the time. Yeah, no shit. It's 6:01 p.m., 6:12 p.m. right now for us. Remember, if you're in line by the time polls close, you have the right to stay in line and cast your ballot. Let's make every single vote count. Bring a friend, bring family, make a difference. That's from Alex Watson, the executive director of the Nevada Republican Party. And that's about it. And of course, they will be shilling for donations right up until the very second. But yeah, other than that, I mean, so what I would encourage people to do, and look, certainly by all means, of course, please like and subscribe and follow these two idiots at Patriots Only Please.
I prefer knucklehead myself.
Yeah. I mean, Tim Walsh is also partial to that term as well. So sometimes we can just be a knucklehead. So yeah, follow these two knuckleheads, follow, and subscribe at Patriots Only Please on your preferred social media channel of choice. And then, of course, if you would like to stay up to date on what these two knuckleheads are doing, please subscribe and opt into our email and stay up to date on when we drop new shows at patriotsonlyplease.com. And that's also where you can get linked to our archive of shows as well.
Yes.
And as far as other live streams go, certainly I would, pay attention to whatever the mainstream media is going to be throwing out there. Fox News, certainly I'll be keeping my eye on that. I'm personally more partial to following the streams by like the Dan Bonginos, the Steven Crowders, the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, those people. What do you have any preferences on any place you could suggest?
I like Ben Shapiro. I like Charlie Kirk. And I like
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk. I like Bongi. I like all, the ones that you just mentioned. I mean, they're all great. Different perspectives, different approaches to the information. So I'm going to toggle between all those three tonight and watch the results as late as I can stay up. But I'm feeling pretty good for Trump. I'm feeling like he did a great job despite fighting the entire system. And I think that what the Democrats are trying to pull off has never really been successful before in the history of politics. I mean, and by the way, embarrassingly enough for their party, did you hear that Joe Biden called a lid at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time?
For those that don't know what a lid is, what exactly is the lid? He just said, "Hey, my days."
Joe Biden barring any unusual emergencies, Joe Biden won't be making any public appearances tonight on election night 2024 in the country over which he's the president.
Interesting. Well, I mean, that could be interpreted a number of different ways. Perhaps he's just so confident that he's just going to, change his diaper and go to bed, or, I don't know. I mean, what do you interpret that to mean?
I interpret it to mean the sitting president is not happy with getting ousted, and he could care less because he's done either way. And it's kind of another slap in the face to Kamala, who he gave the opportunity to. And he's probably going to go. He's probably already in bed watching Gunsmoke. I mean, it doesn't really affect him, right? He's out either way.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it have been talk about unity on our side? We see a lot of unity in Trump's, party, Maha, Elon Musk, Rogan. On their side, the sitting president and the vice president aren't even at the same table on the biggest night in the country's political, political, Biden's like, I'm out, I'm tapping out. Good night. See ya.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's true. That does speak volumes. We've become the party of unity, and they've become the party of disunity and disharmony and everything that they've, purported to have stood for forever. But so I mean, look, I would again, there's a couple of podcasters and live streams that we would certainly encourage you to watch. Another really good one is the Patrick Bet David, the PBD.
Oh
podcast. He's incredible. Yeah.
Did you see he posted a YouTube video today. It might have been last night, but I saw it this morning. 25 reasons why Trump is going to win. Can you hear that? Hello?
Yeah, no, sorry, you cut out. You cut out for a second. Sorry.
Yeah, you cut out too. I said that he PBD posted this YouTube video. I think it was last night or early this morning about 25 reasons why Trump is going to win. It's fascinating. It's good. Give it a listen.
Yeah, I saw that actually. I watched that. That was excellent. That was excellent.
Yep.
And look, I agree with all of that. Again, Trump is not up against Kamala anymore. He's up against an entire system. We have to beat the cheat. So, I mean, everything that you and I have talked about, everything that Charlie Kirk and Tucker Carlson and Dan Bongino and Patrick Bet-David and on and on and on, and all of his, Trump and his surrogates, all of it makes perfect sense to us. It makes perfect sense to his base. It makes perfect sense. People need to show up. We need to turn out. I'm optimistic that will be the case in the popular, hopefully. But again, like there's already been, reports of malfeasance and shenanigans.
Yep.
So it,
this time,
see.
But this time around, the Republicans are ready for it. Laura Trump had 500 attorneys on call and 100,000 poll workers. So we're much more aware of it this time around. We're ready to react immediately, legally. So that bodes well for Trump.
Yes. So yeah, absolutely. So here, these are some of the streams that we recommend that you check out. Check out definitely Election Night in America, the Patrick Bet-David stream. He was selling tickets to this thing. It was
really
because I'm a big fan of his. I actually booked him on a podcast a couple years ago. So he's just become huge. But yeah, he's great. He's a really cool guy too. But he, I was like, man, God, if I had an extra, 5,000, or 10,000.
But I think he's selling tickets to an in-person event though, not online. Like he rented out. He rented out a whole convention center or something. Like it's a big deal.
Yeah.
He's throwing a big ass party. That's not cheap.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
No. So I was, and I thought like for a second, I was like,
yeah.
God, if I had it, but I would certainly, there. Okay. There we go. Yeah. I would certainly do that. And then of course, look, there's also this one as well. Let me just switch here. Hold on. Where's my other one? Stop sharing. Here we go. And then, whatever. And go on rumble.com and stream some more. Definitely stream a lot of those, the ones we mentioned, Charlie Kirk. But
Jeff, we did a good thing tonight. We did a live stream on the biggest night of the year for politics. We're supporting Trump. We'll go off into our own, spend the rest of the night monitoring as well. But I think that we've let people know that we care enough to do this. And at this point, it's kind of the big boys getting the numbers immediately that we want to pay attention to get the results as fast as you possibly can. But I agree with you. This will not be resolved tonight conclusively, but it hopefully will lead us in the direction of knowing we wake up tomorrow and have an idea of what's happening conclusively. Hopefully.
Yeah. That's a perfect way to sum it up. So, hey, listen, as always, thank you so much to anyone who bothered to watch us instead of Fox or Dan or Ben or or Charlie. If you thought, you know what, I really need to get my, our political views.
The guys on the street, literally we're on the street, like literally standing on the street. I want to know what they're thinking. That's us.
Yeah. That's us. Forget about the other guys because then we can go back, but we really want to know what these two knuckleheads had to say. But if that tickles your fancy, please follow, and subscribe at Patriots Only. Please visit us and opt in and subscribe, and follow us and check us out on Patriots Only.
And I will be after we get off the live stream. I am going to hop on TikTok probably in an hour when there are more numbers to talk about, and go live on our Patriots Only Please TikTok channel and just talk about the results and interact with people on TikTok tonight too, because I plan on being up for a few more hours at least following this.
Oh, at least.
I'd love to know where some of the swing states land, if it's possible to know that tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, there's going to be a lot of reporting that comes in, and like you said, there's going to be a lot of initial reporting. It's again conclusively that's a different story, but with that we'll jump off that bridge when we get to it, but at least we'll have a pretty good idea of where we stand. So cool. And hopefully if this goes the way, I'm hoping it does, I won't be jumping off of any bridges. So,
no,
if it doesn't, then, we'll so we'll see. That remains to be seen. So, all right. Good night. God bless. Shalom. Let's
make America great again. Keep on trumping.
Make America great again. All right. Bye for now.
Thanks, buddy.
Cool. Great.
Well done.
Fantastic. All right. That was live.
I'm going to smoke some weed, eat dinner, and watch politics for the rest of the night.
That is exactly what I'm going to do, except I got a